Hello, and welcome to the very first Clean Air Night Summit. My name is Larissa Lockwood, and I am the Director of Clean Air here at Global Action Plan. Before we start, I have a few bits of housekeeping, which are also on the screen. Please rename yourself so that we can see your name and organisation, and feel free to use the chat function to share who you are and where you're joining us from. We'd love to know who is here tonight. You're amongst friends. And if you want to discuss anything from the presentations or wish to share your own experiences, we encourage you to use the chat function for that. For tonight is about sharing information and also about sharing our experiences. However, if you have questions that you'd like to put to the expert panel to address later in the event, please use the Q&A function, so not the chat for those questions, and then we'll do our best to address as many of them as possible. Next point, closed captions are available. If you'd like to see them, please enable them using the closed caption button at the bottom of your screen. And finally, this event will be recorded. However, we will not be sharing the Q&A part of the session. So we'll make sure the first part of the webinar and the presentations are available for everyone afterwards, but not the Q&A. But we are recording the whole thing just for note-taking purposes only. Good. Well, I am genuinely delighted to welcome you all here today to celebrate this first Clean Air Night campaign, a national public engagement campaign dedicated to addressing the uncomfortable truths about wood burning. So Clean Air Night is run by Global Action Plan, but it really wouldn't have been possible without our partnership with Hertfordshire County Council and founder supporters Lancaster City Council, Surrey Air Alliance and the Welsh Government. So thank you all so very much for enabling this to happen. Because at Global Action Plan, we have received so many requests over the years to address wood burning and to incorporate it into some of our other campaigns like Clean Air Day. And now it's been absolutely wonderful to be able to do this and for us all to come out in voice together today, because it really has been so powerful to see so many organisations and advocates having this much needed conversation about domestic burning in the public domain. And hopefully this has given us all the confidence to keep talking and keep campaigning on this. So thank you very much to everyone for making that happen. For those of you who don't know, Global Action Plan is an environmental charity focused on issues where the connection between the health of people and our planet is most tangible. And we mobilise people and organisations to take action on the systems that harm us and our planet. And something that is harming us increasingly is the air pollution caused by wood burning. So over the past decade, the amount of harmful small particulate pollution caused by lighting fires in our homes, known as domestic burning, has more than doubled. So it really is crucial that we tackle this growing source, given that this type of air pollution is so harmful and can have significant health consequences. It's the pollutant that can increase your risk of dying from heart or lung disease. It can also cause diabetes, damage your brain health, affect unborn children. It's been linked to cancer. And over the course of this campaign, we have heard from a lot of people whose health is suffering from air pollution from solid fuel burning stoves and fires. So on to today's agenda. The session today will kick off with our new campaign film, Big Ooze, which dispels 3 common myths about domestic burning that research tells us stand in the way of public engagement on this important issue. So we have been working with our experts, Dr. Suzanne Bartington, Dr. Gary Fuller and Dr. Donal Brown, to create a film based on the evidence around these myths. So we've officially shared it online earlier today, but today this event is kind of like the film premiere, I like to think. Then we will hear from local authorities who are leading the way towards a future where everyone can breathe cleaner air, including our Clean Air Night partner, Hertfordshire County Council, and founding supporters, Surrey Air Alliance and Lancaster City Council. Then at the end, there'll be time to ask our expert panel questions and to discuss the nuances of the campaign messaging, the evidence, how it's been for you, because this campaign has been running for 4 weeks now, with different weeks dedicated to sharing truths around a different aspect of wood burning. And it'd be good to hear how it's gone. Then after the film screening or premiere, I will hand over to my colleague, Tessa Bartholomew Good, who's sitting opposite me, but is also our head of campaigns in the Clean Air team, who, with a team of brilliant people, really has been behind making this important campaign happen today. And it hasn't been easy, as brokering new ground with uncomfortable truths rarely is, but the team have been focused and positive throughout. So Tessa, Bina, Sonia, Chloe, Natasha, Ellie, Rachel, Sarah, Claire, and of course, Tessa, a big thank you and round of applause to you. But for now, please everybody sit back and enjoy the premiere screening of the Clean Air Night film.
Coziness. What does it mean to you? A crisp winter's night, the crackling of a wood-burning fire, home and hearth. Sales of wood-burning stoves are on the rise, but what you might not know is there's a hidden cost to burning. We're going to share a very different story around the fire.
A lot of people burn wood to heat their homes because they think it will save them money. But using a wood burner is actually at least 15% more expensive than other forms of heating. And that's not including the cost of buying the burner.
Did you know that wood burning can be bad for your health? It gives off harmful pollution known as particulate matter. These tiny particles are smaller than a human hair and can affect the heart and blood vessels, meaning that you're more likely to die early from heart or lung disease. They can also increase your risk of dementia and even affect unborn babies.
Wood burning is not an environmentally friendly way to heat our homes. For the same amount of heat, wood burning releases more carbon dioxide than oil or gas. That means there will be more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere after a night in front of a fire than if you use the central heating. When we cut down trees to use as fuel, they stop absorbing carbon dioxide from our atmosphere, and it can take decades or even as long as a century for forests to grow back and reabsorb the carbon dioxide released when we burn wood.
This winter, take the time to think about the real cost of wood burning, not just to our wallets, but to our health and the planet. Find out more about the facts of wood burning and how we can all work towards a healthier, cleaner future together at the Clean Air Hub.
Great. Exciting to see that film finally live. We hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you to all of our experts who contributed to the film, Dr. Suzanne Bartington, Dr. Gary Fuller, and Dr. Donald Brown. And we really encourage everyone on the call today to share this film with your networks to get that message out there. It's hosted on the Clean Air Hub, and someone will be posting the link in the chat now for you to easily just send off. As Larsa said, my name is Tessa Bartholomew Good, and I am the head of campaigns at Global Action Plan and have been leading the team who've been working incredibly hard to deliver the first Clean Air Night campaign. So we're now going to hear from our partner and founder supporters about their involvement in Clean Air Night, learning more about their local context and why they're supporting the first campaign. So first we will hear from Sarah Perman, the Director of Public Health at Hertfordshire County Council, who is our key partner.
Hello, my name is Sarah Perman, Director of Public Health at Hertfordshire County Council. In Hertfordshire, we're acutely aware of the dangers posed by air pollution to our health and our climate. That's why in Hertfordshire County Council's corporate plan, we've set cleaner air for all by 2030 as one of 3 cross-cutting ambitions for a sustainable Hertfordshire. Following on from last year's award-winning Let's Clear the Air campaign, we're pleased to provide funding towards Clean Air Night to continue raising awareness around the dangers posed by air pollution from burning wood in the home. Over the last 15 years or so in Hertfordshire, we've seen an increase in new installations of wood burners in people's homes, a trend that's repeated across the UK. And nationally, we know that domestic burning is now the UK's single biggest source of fine particulate pollution. People have different reasons for burning wood. If everyone knew about the facts, would we see the same level of burning that we see today? Could providing information now reduce the future negative impacts on health? That's why the information that Clean Air Night is bringing to the public is so necessary in helping to inform people's choices. It is important to keep warm this winter, and no one should go without heat. But we do want to encourage a discussion about healthy alternatives to wood burning. I'm really pleased to see how many public sector and third sector organisations are supporting this campaign in its first year, including the Association of Directors of Public Health. This gives me great hope that Clean Air Night can go on to become as popular and impactful as its sister campaign, Clean Air Day. I'll leave you now and hand over to some of the campaign's founder supporters to talk about their involvement in Clean Air Night.
Great. Thank you, Sarah and Matthew and the whole Hertfordshire County Council team who has worked on getting Clean Air Night off the ground this year. It's really great to see councils like Hertfordshire committing to strong ambitions like Cleaner Air for All by 2023 and tackling this issue of wood burning that is polluting our air, especially when we know it's not really yet fully understood by the majority of the public. So now we'll hear from one of our founder supporters, Lancaster City Council and Surrey Air Alliance. So let's go first to Lisa Harvey-Vince, Health Protection Team Manager, to share some more information about why Surrey Air Alliance is supporting this campaign. Over to you, Lisa.
Thank you. So I'm going to have my first slide, please. So I'm Lisa Harvey-Vince from Surrey County Council, and I'm representing Surrey Air Alliance today. So as you can see here, we've got quite a lot of members in the Surrey Air Alliance. They come from our 11 District and Borough Council environmental health teams, Surrey County Council teams, National Highways, and Surrey Heartlands ICB. And the Alliance started back in 2015. Next slide, please. We're a member of the original bid to DEFRA, so it was important to us to help to continue with the campaign. Surrey is in the southeast of England, and it's an affluent area of the country where use of a log burner is often, but not always, a lifestyle choice rather than a necessity. We've also got rural areas where wood burning is a primary source of heating for many households. But whether it's a lifestyle choice or a necessity, we wanted to raise awareness of the health impacts from wood burning to help people make informed choices and influence their behaviour. Next slide, please. We've mainly been raising awareness on our websites with articles and links to the Global Action Plan website as well. And so here are some of the examples, including we have a Healthy Surrey website and some of our district and boroughs as well. We've also been doing social media posting on Facebook, X, Instagram, Nextdoor during all of the weeks of the campaign since last December. Next slide, please. We've had questions. You probably need to click through quite a few of these things. If you could keep clicking, please. And if you keep clicking, and I'll let you know when to stop. That's it, stop there, thank you. We've had quite a lot of questions about the evidence, so it's been really helpful to be able to signpost them to the Clean Air Night website. We've had a mixture of positive and negative responses, as you can see here. I particularly like the one about burning the Christmas tree on the 24th of January. I'm an optimist, so I'm taking this that they're not using their open fire for all the other days of January, just the 24th. So I'm taking that as a reduction of 31 days to 1. Hopefully that's the case. But other people actually want to have the issue have a higher profile, and they want more to be done on what alternative fuels are available. We have had with one of our local councils a wood burning stove supplier and installer that has complained about the social media posts to their local councillors, saying they're potentially libelous and asking if it's now council policy to ban or discourage the burning of sustainable fuels in well-designed appliances. The social media postings have actually stopped while the complaint is being investigated, and the local environmental health team has responded, and we're waiting to see the outcome of that investigation. But I think what this shows really is that the subject is emotive, and like any public health campaign, often attracts a defensive response for something that we may feel infringes on our lifestyle, whether it be at home or at work. But at least it's starting that uncomfortable conversation. Next slide, please. So I leave you with a thought from Miss E. Maynard in 1911. Maybe the language is a bit old school here, but I think the sentiment still remains as valid today as it was over 100 years ago, although I don't think I'd like to be dealt with by Miss Maynard. Shining a light on the uncomfortable truth about wood burning is the start of the conversation. And like many campaigns before, this is another public health issue that people don't always want to hear about. But think about the difference that we can make. And maybe in a few years' time, we'll look back at wood burning as being as socially unacceptable as smoking in indoor public places is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I love that quote. I haven't seen that before. And I really hope you're right about the person who wrote in to say that they're burning their Christmas tree that they won't have burnt for the rest of January. I hope that's true. But yes, it's really helpful to see the full range of people writing in, because we do know this is a very emotive topic. And it's really great to hear that supporters like yourselves are finding it really helpful to have evidence-based to kind of back up with the real kind of facts to be able to communicate about the harm. So thank you for sharing that locally relevant topic. So now we will go over to Melissa Parnell, the Environmental Protection Technical Officer from Lancaster City Council.
Hiya, yes, so I'm Melissa Parnell and I'm an Environmental Protection Officer and Air Quality Lead at Lancaster City Council. So we've chosen to support the Clean Air Night campaign because air pollution, as we know, is the single biggest environmental threat to public health in the UK. And as we've heard a lot already, domestic burning has a significant role to play in that in relation to national air quality, but in terms of local air quality as well. Here in Lancaster, we have an ongoing project to improve public understanding about air pollution and increase awareness and education. And Clean Air Night therefore ties in perfectly with our own campaign. And Clean Air Night is also a great tool for getting those difficult conversations started. So next slide, please. So wood burning in Lancaster. Lancaster has rural areas and we have a city centre that's quite densely populated. We have hotspots in residential areas, we believe, where there's a lot of people using their solid fuel appliances. And in these hotspots, we've found that the air quality can be quite bad. So we do have smoke control areas, but they only cover a proportion of the city. And with the use of eco stoves, we're actually finding that there isn't much of a difference between the air quality in these smoke control areas compared to non-smoke control areas. We receive hundreds of complaints each year relating to smoke and domestic burning, and so we acknowledge that the public and local residents, it is an emotive issue for them. Not only does the smoke cause a nuisance and affect our quality of life, but as we know, it also harms health. So as part of a larger project, we've recently installed a network of air quality monitors scattered across the district, and they provide real-time information about key air pollutants such as particulate matter. And what they've shown is that in areas that we thought might have good air quality in terms of nitrogen dioxide, when it comes to particulate matter, it has quite low levels of air quality. And especially over the winter months, and we presume this is because of the increased level of domestic burning. So we're about to release the public portal for the public to see what air quality is like on their street level. And if you just go on to the next slide, it should provide a snapshot of the portal. There it is. So using this portal, we hope to educate the public about what their air quality is like on a street level. And that combined with the messaging and the public awareness campaign, such as Clean Air Night, we hope that this will all contribute to better education and awareness of the public in terms of air quality. Yeah, so Clean Air Night is day one for us in terms of our educational campaign, and it seems like the perfect time to kick off. our educational project. So if you want to get in touch and find out more about what we're doing at Lancaster, then feel free to drop me an email. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Melissa. It's really great to see how Clean Air Night ties in so well with your own campaigns in Lancaster to improve public awareness. And we're really happy to see councils like yourselves really starting this difficult conversation around the harms of wood burning. So we're looking forward to continuing that conversation with you. So now we've come to the panel discussion. And the Q&A. So if you do have any questions inspired by any of the presentations you just saw or the film, please do add them into the Q&A function. And this is really an opportunity for us to hear directly from our expert. So Clean Air Night has shown a light on the uncomfortable truth that wood burning harms our health, wallet, and planet. And we're really delighted today to have experts on these three areas be able to answer any of your questions around the impacts of wood burning. So on our panel today, who you should be seeing popping up in the videos, we have Dr. Gary Fuller, who is an air pollution scientist at Imperial College London and Clean Air Champion for the UK Research and Innovation and the Met Office. And he writes a regular column for The Guardian, which some of you might have read, called Pollution Watch. And if you haven't, you should go read it, coming out on Friday, and has looked specifically into the environmental impact of wood burning. And Dr. Anandita Patnaik, who is a doctor and public health expert, and she is also the policy officer at the UK Health Alliance on Climate Change and a member of the Healthy Air Coalition wood burning subgroup. So she will be talking today about any questions that you have around how wood burning harms the human health. And then finally, we have Dr. Donald Brown, who is a research fellow at the SPRU, the University of Sussex, and is the sustainability director at a low carbon consultancy firm called Sustainable Design Collective. He was the principal researcher who conducted our economic modeling research that came out back in October, I believe, which was titled Relight My Fire, Investigating the True Cost of Wood Burning Stoves. And he will be speaking to the cost implications of wood burning. So just as a reminder, please make sure that any of your questions are in the Q&A function, not in the chat, and we'll do our best to cover as many questions as we can and take note of all of the questions, even if we don't have time to answer them today. Great, so I'm going to go into the Q&A and see what questions we have. That's really helpful clarification points. Thank you, Gary. Well, I'm sure we could keep asking lots of questions of you for another hour, but unfortunately we are coming to the end of the event. So we'll have to wrap up the panel discussion now. But as we mentioned, we've taken a note of all of the questions that have been asked. And thank you to all of our expert panel for joining us and for all of the really thought-provoking questions that were sent through. We will try to add as many answers to any of your questions to our FAQ page online, which someone will be linking in the chat now. Yeah, so as Clean Air Night comes to an end, as the summit comes to an end, we have one final request as a reminder. Please share the campaign film that highlights the 3 truths about the harms of wood burning. And if you do share this on social media, please use the hashtag Clean Air Night, and we'd love for you to share it in your networks, on social media, on emails, WhatsApp groups, wherever you think people would want to see it. And we really hope this is really, just the beginning of Clean Air Night, kind of being that catalyst for raising awareness and starting that journey of communicating it to the public, but also working towards kind of wider changes that we know that we need to see in the future. So if you do want to learn more about wood burning and the future of Clean Air Night campaigns in the future, as well as Clean Air Day, which is coming up, we're doing again. It's going to be on June 20th this year. Please sign up to our newsletter. There's going to be a link in the chat, and that's the best way to kind of find out any information about any of our upcoming campaigns. And finally, just a huge heartfelt thank you again to our partner, Hertfordshire County Council, without whom this campaign wouldn't have happened. So thank you, Matt and team. And our founder supporters, Surrey Air Alliance and Lancaster County Council, all of our experts, and of course, our official Clean Air Night supporters and anyone who participated in the campaign, who you've all collectively contributed to the success of the campaign today. So thank you to each of you for asking questions and joining us, and we'll be sharing all of the insights presented tonight, including a recording of this webinar, any of the slides that were presented, and a link to the video to anyone who either attended or registered to attend. And we are really looking forward to continuing the journey, working towards creating cleaner air for all. So happy first Clean Air Night, and we hope you enjoyed this event. And to help us improve with any future events, we will be sending around a little feedback form. So it'll be in the chat and will be sent around afterwards, and really appreciate any of your views. And have a lovely rest of your Clean Air Night. Thank you.